In 1976, the average American could buy a home outright with a single income. But today, most households can barely scrape together a down payment if they're lucky. That's not normal inflation, that is a broken system. But what has really changed, and why is no one talking about the root cause? It's not just that prices have gone up, it's that the value of your dollar has gone down. But when you measure in gold, the truth becomes crystal clear. This isn't just about housing being more expensive, this is about something much bigger. A system that is destroying the American dream and robbing you of your time, your savings, and your future. And if you've ever wondered why it feels like you keep falling further behind even though you're doing everything right, this video will explain why. So what happens when we measure assets and income in gold instead of dollars? How does this impact you and your savings? And most importantly, what can you do with this information to protect your wealth before it's too late? Let's get into it. Today, I'm going to show you something that most financial planners never do. What happens when you measure the past and the present in ounces of gold? Because once you start to do this, everything will look very different. Let's start by looking at income and home prices in USD and gold in 1976, and then we'll jump to today. Now, in 1976, the median annual household income was $12,700, whereas the median price to buy a new home was $44,200. Now, during this year, in 1976, on average, the spot price of gold was $125 per ounce, which means that when measured in gold, the median household income was 101 ounces of gold, and the median price to buy a home was 353 ounces. Now, this, no matter how you measure it, was about 3.5 times the annual income was the cost to buy a home outright. Not too shabby. But let's look at these numbers today. Now in 2025, of course, everything's gone up. So the median household annual income has jumped up to $82,900, which sounds like a solid jump, but you already know where I'm going with this. The median home price today is $416,900. So median income has gone up maybe 6x, whereas the cost to buy a new home has gone up almost 10 times what it was 50 years ago. Meaning you now need 5 times your annual income to buy a house. That number, that gap has only gone up, and that's if you're median. There's 50% of people out there, households that are making a lower annual income. But the question remains, why is the gap widening? Is it because materials are that much more expensive, that homes are that much more expensive? Or is it that the value of your dollar has gone down, that wages never kept up with inflation? I have news for you. We can actually prove this once and for all right now by looking at these prices in gold. Now, today, the spot price of gold is $3,300 an ounce. Let's put back up those 1976 numbers in gold so that we can see the difference from then to today. How many ounces of gold you got paid and how many ounces it takes to buy a house. Today's median household income in gold is 25 ounces, and it takes about 126 ounces of gold to buy that median home price. Why do you think it is that it takes so many more dollars to buy a home and so many less ounces of gold? The value of your dollars continues to go down. Meanwhile, the spot price of gold is 26 times greater today than it was in 1976. Imagine if all these years you had been paid in gold, if you had been saving in gold compared to dollars, how much further ahead you would be today. It's simple math, but it's shocking every single time. And it's even more shocking when you dig into the data. See, annual household income, when we're looking at 1976 to present day, it's not apples to apples. The key word there is household. In 1976, only 33% of households had 2 incomes, right? The majority of households had only 1 income. Today, over half, nearly 55% of households have 2 incomes, meaning that not only have wages not kept up with inflation, but these numbers are even worse when you take into the account that there are more people that are working in a household and they still have less. That gap to buy a home is even further away than it was before in dollars. This is because it is almost impossible to protect your savings if you save in a fiat currency that is continually being devalued against your will, out of your control. Another way to look at this, because this is so important, is take that house example from 1976, the median home, $44,200. Let's say in 1976, you sold that home for cash, a cash pile that you kept in cash, stored it away, never touched it, no interest gained on it, just let it sit there. Well, in the 50 years since you sold that house and you had that cash just sitting there, it would be worth roughly 17% of what it was then today, or $7,500. That's what you'd be left with. Now, nominally, it would still be $44,200, but it would have lost 83% of its value over that 50-year time period. But what would have happened if you'd held onto that house instead of selling it and holding onto the cash? Well, we know that it would have about 10x'd on average, right? So it would have gone from $44,200 to roughly $420,000 today. That's a pretty good payday. But stay with me here. If you took that house in 1976 and you sold it for $44,200, you would have been able to buy 363 ounces of gold with that cash. Now, if you had bought that much gold in 1976 and you had held on to it until today, that gold would be worth roughly $1.6 million. That is true wealth. That is a true store of value. When I talk about gold, protecting your wealth against a failing fiat currency so that you are set up not only to survive what's happening with this fiat currency collapse, but to thrive on the other side, this example is exactly what I am talking about. But don't just take my word for it, do your own research. The math checks out. And if you're wondering, this is all so simple to understand, why haven't I ever been taught this before? It's because most financial planners won't tell you any of this, not because they're hiding it from you, but because they were never trained on this. They were trained in paper assets, paper money, not tangible, real wealth. They were trained in things that have management fees, consultant fees, a lifetime of making a profit off of you and your hard-earned savings. But physical, real, tangible money, gold and silver, stand outside that system. There are no fees. Once you hold it, you own it without any counterparty risk. Not questioning the value of money, what these assets are priced in, is where problems start. Again, it's not that homes and groceries and the cost of living is getting so much more expensive. It's that your dollars are getting weaker and weaker. They are worth less. But the scary part is the system is not going to fix things for you. You are going to have to take control back yourself if you want to protect what's rightfully yours. As things get worse for the dollar, which unfortunately, they will. It's the trajectory we are on. The United States is not going to stop spending, meaning the value of your dollar will never be worth more than what it is today. You are going to want to make sure that you protect what is yours before it is too late, which is why now is the time to act. This is why we've created the free ITM Gold and Silver Guide, which I believe everyone should read. This is why it's free. So if you haven't already downloaded your copy, do so today by clicking the link below. You can download your free copy, or you can scan the QR code and download a copy that way as well, whatever is easiest for you. And if you're ready to take action, to take that next step and find out how we can help you protect everything you've worked so hard for with a custom gold and silver strategy, you can call us at the number below or schedule your strategy call today. Either way, we are here to help you. We have almost 30 years of experience in helping people just like you. So again, what are you waiting for? This will be the peace of mind you've been searching for in such a volatile and turbulent world, especially with everything that is happening right now with the dollar. What we looked at today, going back 50 years, imagine where we will be in the next 50 years. The bottom line is that although the system won't save you, you can still save and protect yourself and everything you have worked so hard for. So again, call us at the number below right now to talk to one of our expert analysts, or schedule a strategy call at a time that makes the most sense for you. Whatever is easiest, but do it now so you don't forget and that you can sleep well at night the same way I do, knowing I'm protected with physical gold and silver. And in the meantime, I so appreciate you being here. I'm Taylor Kenney with ITM Trading, your trusted source for all things gold, silver, and lifelong wealth protection. Until next time.